Om Sadashivasamāramභāṁ Shankarācārya-madhyamāṁ Asmadācārya-paryantāṁ Vande Guru-parampārāṁ Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ Ālayam Karunālayam Namo Bhagavad-pādam Shankaram Loka-shankaram Samasta-jana-kalyanam Yatam-karunāmayam Chinnayam Sadgurum Brahma-viharam Om Namo Bhagavate Vairasvataya Vidyave Brahma-vidyācāryāya Nachiketa Secha. So we saw the second boon when Vidya was taught. Nachiketa grasped it in the single instant as he was taught, and he also repeated it to Lord Yama precisely and with proper understanding. So Lord Yama was very happy with him and he gave him extra boon. In that he said that the Agni will be named after Nachiketa, and also he gave him a sringa. Literally it's a garland or a necklace. Other meaning of that is some more rituals, some more mantras he taught by which different aspects of pleasure, enjoyment one can experience. And what was said is that when this upasana is done, when this Agni Vidya is followed, the state that a person reaches is Vairajam Padam. So in Vedanta we all know that the total gross body is called as Virat. All these bodies put together, total gross body is Virat. So the upasana is done, that Agni is not just the fire, Agni is the basis of this entire world. And that Agni is my nature. So when this upasana is done with this karma, so karma upasana samuchaya it is called. So this karma and upasana samuchaya when it is done, the result of karma upasana samuchaya is when the person drops the body, person comes to identify with Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is total subtle mind, total subtle bodies, which is also called Brahma Loka. So if a person does karma upasana samuchaya properly, then that person attains Brahma Loka. So that is called Krama Mukti, where Brahmaji gives that person knowledge of the self at the time of dissolution, prayer, and the person gets liberated. So karma upasana samuchaya can lead to that. And there are many people who believe that is the method for mukti. There is no jiva mukti, there is only krama mukti possible. Because they believe strongly in karma, that action produces a result. So the second boon guarantees to Nachiketa that he will get Brahma Mukti. And especially when he has learned it, he has explained it properly to Lord Yama, he knows. Now the third boon, why is he going to ask the third boon? If he is getting Krama Mukti, that Krama Mukti was indicated in that earlier verse number 17. In the commentary of that verse 17 also you will see. Vairajam Padam Jnana Karma Samuchaya Anushthanena Prapnoti iti artha. Vairajam Padam is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is Brahma Loka. So these 7 realms of existence are also there. Brahma Loka is supposed to be that realm of existence where the person has dropped the identification with one individuality, is identified with all the subtle bodies. And so that person also becomes sarvajna. Because the person starts identifying the total subtle body. So many things happening in the universe, the person starts understanding. It's a very high state of evolution. Now, from the standpoint of people who believe this is the ultimate, there is nothing to ask after this. But Vedanta says no. Because even there, the Jiva Bhava is still there. The sense of limitation is still there, ignorance of the self is still there. Upasana has only helped one to rise above body identification, saying I am not this and identify with a larger field. Upasana has not removed the ignorance of that person. It has made the identification much more, it has made the mind single pointed, it has increased some bhavana. So now the next part, when Lord Yama says, ask your third boon. Because what Nachiketa was promised in the beginning were 3 boons. Out of that 2 he has asked. Third one Yamaraj gave on his own, which is actually number 4. Now number 3 he has to ask. So in that, there is a commentary of Shankaracharya before the next boon that he asks. So this is after mantra number 19. The commentary of mantra number 19 gets over, then this introduction starts. What is the page number in your book? 32 is what? The introduction or mantra 19? 19 gets over, at the end of 19, then the next portion starts. There. So he says, Etavati atikrantena vidhi pratishedharthena mantra brahmanena avagantavyam yad varadvaya suchitam vastu. So 2 boons which are given, they are of the nature of vidhi and nisheda. They should be done, they should not be done. Especially the karma upasana of what is karma. So that's what he says. Mantra brahmanena avagantavyam. So this karma and upasana, there are rules and there are do's and don'ts. How to arrange the breaks, how many quantity, what should be used, what should not be used, all that. And what was the prayojan of that? To make the mind disciplined. That was the prayojan. Vidhi Nisheda helps the mind to become disciplined. But that still doesn't remove the finitude. So he says, Na Atma Tattva Vishaya Yathatma Vijnanam. The purpose of these 2 was not to tell about the self. The knowledge of the self is not revealed, even through this. Mind becomes purified. So he says, Ato Vidhi Pratishedhartha Vishayasya Atmani Kriya Karaka Phala Adhyaropa Lakshanasya Swabhavikasya Ajnanasya Samsara Bijasya Nivrityartham Tad Viparita Brahmatmaikatva Vijnanam Kriya Karaka Phala Adhyaropa Lakshana Shunyam Atyantika Nishreyasa Prayojanam Vaktavyam Iti Uttaro Grantha Arabhyate. So now why is the next part being told? Because Vidhi and Pratishedhartha Vishayasya Atmani, because of this, the rituals etc. what was explained, the mind only becomes pure. What is superimposed on the self, that I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta, and I need happiness from this, that is out of Ajnana. So that is what is called as Swabhavikasya Ajnanasya Samsara Bijasya. Ajnana is the Samsara Bija. The cause of Samsara and the sorrows in Samsara is Ajnana. When I don't know who I am, then I identify myself to be something else. Then I feel limited. Then I start becoming the doer. Then I start becoming the enjoyer. And hence all the anxiety, fear, stress, worry, tension, everything starts after that. This is samsara. Cause of that is ajnana. How will that cause, root cause, samsara bija, the seed, how will that be destroyed? The opposite of ajnana is only. So that's why he says here that Yudakyatam tad viparita brahmatmaikatva vijnanam. The opposite of ajnana is brahmatmaikatva vijnanam. The oneness of the individual with the Supreme. So the sense of finitude goes only through knowledge. What was said earlier was only to prepare the mind for this knowledge. It was to reduce the ego. It is to discipline the mind. It cannot remove the cause of the ego, which is ignorance. So the next part is to remove that ignorance. So that's why he says the Uttara Grantha Arabhyate. Tam etam artham dvitiya varapraptya api akritarthatvam tritiya varagocharam atmajnanam antarena iti akhyayika prapanchayati. This is even the result of the second boon can get a person that state of Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaloka. Still, the sense of finitude will remain. Jiva bhav will still remain. How will that go? Only by proper understanding and knowledge of the self. So he says, akritarthatvam. See, kritartha means when I have done what needs to be done, I am very fulfilled. There is no further desire to do something or to gain something. That is called kritartha. Kritartha. Akritartha means lack of fulfillment. So, no matter what we gain in this world, no matter what we gain in the other world, even if one gets the highest, what a human being can reach in this human life is the highest state, is the Brahmaloka, is the Hiranyagarbha Vasna. Identification with the total subtle body. There is nothing higher than that a human being can get in terms of an external result. He says even when one gets that, there is still the notion that I am a jiva. The knowledge of oneness with Brahman has still not taken place. So there is still incompleteness, akritarthata. There is still lack of fulfillment. And that can go only when there is clarity that I am not this finite entity, I am an infinite pure consciousness. So now he says that yataha purvasmat karma gocharat sadhya sadhana lakshanad avityad viraktasya atmajnane adhikara iti tannindartham putradi upanyasena pralopanam kriyate. Now two things he says here. One is whatever is gained by putting effort. When I do an action, then I get the result. That's called sadhana sadhya. The means and the goal. Anything that I get by this action is temporary. Whatever it is. Even this highest state of Brahmaloka is temporary. Why? Because it is the result of karma, upasana, samuchaya. And that's why the Gita also Bhagavan says, Abrahma bhavana loka punaravartina urtuna. From Brahmalok till this world, the jiva can come and go. Why? Because as long as that punya is there, only so long one remains there. If one has done that karma, upasana, samuchaya properly, then one lives there for a long period of time until Pralaya and Brahmaji gives the Brahma Dhyan and Mukti happens. But if it is not enough, one goes there, stays for some time, again comes back. So whatever is gained by action, however great it may be in terms of even the Hiranyagarbha Vasna, is very, very finite, is perishable almost. And so to make a person understand this, the limitation of karma and upasana, and make a person understand that the only way to liberation is Brahma. The second boon is meant for that. So Nachiketa asked the first boon for the family, second boon also for his father also, and for the sake of the society. But it is also the another purpose is to make a person understand that whatever is created will perish. Whatever is born out of action is limited. Mukti or fulfillment is not something that can be created. It is our own nature. Even right now, because if it is infinite, it is present even here now at this moment. Just that I don't know it. Hence, the solution is not any amount of karma, solution is not any amount of upasana, solution is steady abidance in that Brahma Jnana. To help us to abide in that Brahma Jnana, contemplation on that Brahman is required. To do contemplation on Brahman, mind must be pure. Hence, the karma upasana is to make my mind ready for Brahma Jnana. Hence, the boon was asked in this order. So it's an order of evolution also. And then he says that when now Nachiketa is asking this boon of Brahma Jnana, he will be tempted. So Putra Pautradi Upanyasena, Yamaraj will give him temptations. See, only a person who has Vairagya is ready for Brahma Jnana. If I don't have Vairagya, I am not ready for Brahma Jnana. Vairagya means no craving for any form of pleasure. Simple meaning. In Tattvabodh it is said, Iha amutra phala bhoga viragaha. No craving for any enjoyments or pleasure here or hereafter. That is called Vairagya. Nachiketa has no such craving at all for even the karma upasana samuchaya. He himself doesn't want karma upasana samuchaya. The result of that, which is Brahma Loka. But if he wanted that, he would have said, Hari Om, I got everything, Tata bye bye, I'm good. He knows that this is not the ultimate and I am not interested in this. He has taken this for the sake of other reasons. So, one aspect is that he wants Brahma Jnana, such clarity that Brahma Jnana alone is that which leads to fulfillment. 11-year-old boy, think about it. That there is nothing which can give fulfillment. Anything that is created by karma is limited, it will not give me fulfillment. It can make me happy for some time, but it cannot bring fulfillment. So he is not interested in anything that is a product of karma and upasana. Then he asked for Brahma Jnana. Now, to understand Brahma Jnana, one must have the capability. So there are two aspects. One is called Arthi, another is called Samarthi. Arthi means one who desires. Samarthi means one who is deserving. If a child desires to gain the knowledge of nuclear science, a child will have a desire. But is the child capable? Not yet capable. So Arthi is one thing, Samarthi is another thing. I may have desires, I may want something, but I must be eligible for it. If a teenager wants to drive a vehicle, he desires, but is he eligible? 18 years he has to be before he drives a vehicle. Sorry, voting. That's voting. For this one it is what, 16? That learning license and driving. Driving also is 18. Yeah. Okay. So eligibility is required. So for Brahma Jnana, what is eligibility? Vairagya is eligibility. Vivek born, Vairagya born out of Vivek. And the Vivek is this, what is Nitya and what is Anitya. What is Anitya? Anything that is created by action is Anitya. Interesting. Everything that we do in this whole life, run, 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 do action, do here, go there, become this, become that, get this, get that, entire thing in one shot it is done. Wrong. Not one life, full life after life is gone. It's not a waste. If I do it with the right attitude, of course it leads to purity of mind. If I don't do it with the right attitude, it leads to more bondage. But it is nowhere close to fulfillment. Whatever result I get is not close to fulfillment at all. And nobody teaches any of this in our school. Some punya karma, somehow one came to Vedanta and then one understood it. And our tradition was in the Gurukul system, this is taught before. So that with this knowledge a person gets into Grahastha that I have to realize Brahman. And Grahasti life is 25 years. After that I have to live as a Vanaprasthi, then sannyas and experience that fulfillment. Goal of life becomes so clear. Here though we study after so many years and still one doesn't know what is the Swadharma, what should I do in this life. And even if I get whatever I want to get, I still feel incomplete. Then I come to some midlife crisis that I don't know now. Whatever I wanted I got. Now what next? That I don't know. That is the condition. So here Nachiketa's character, if you see, he is earthly and he is samarthya, both. And how is his samarthya proved? His samarthya is proved in two ways. One is when he is asking for Brahma Vidya itself, it is very clear that he is the one who understands that Brahma Mukti is not the ultimate. Second, when he asks for Brahma Vidya, you will see Yamaraj gives him temptations. You take wealth, you take earth, you take this, you take that, everything I give you, but don't ask for Brahma Vidya. And Nachiketa doesn't blink an eye in rejecting all that. And remember, this Vairagya is not just an intellectual quality. Vairagya is a deep feeling. You think it is some intellectual information. That, oh, this is temporary, that is permanent, so hold on to the permanent, leave the temporary. There is no craving, that is feeling level. Absence of craving is at the feeling level. Is our rejection, is our Vairagya from a teddy bear intellectual or emotional? Is there a conflict between intellect and emotion at that time? Intellectually, I know I should not desire teddy bear, but my mind runs behind it. It is complete. It is when we say feeling level, it can come when there is this integration. That is called Yukta Purusha. Intellect and the mind wants the same thing, feels the same thing. That is called Yukta. And then that manifests at action level. Ayukta, our condition today is Ayukta. Intellectually we feel Brahman is the goal. Intellectually we feel the world is temporary. The pleasures are all temporary. But emotionally we still want that temporary. Then that is not proper Vairagya. Because the Viveka is there, but Viveka is not strong enough. Or Viveka is strong, but mind is not purified. So an impure mind still craves, it has vasanas, it still craves, it still runs behind people, things, objects, it goes. In Nachiketa's case, it is not that. That's what was depicted by 3 days and 3 nights he did not have food. At the time of death, he is standing there. At the doors of death, he is standing there without food, without water, anything. Meaning, no craving for even the necessities. Forget sense enjoyments. Necessities also he doesn't need. He is waiting. That is a seeker. So the next part now, Brahma Vidya, the adhikar of a Brahma Vidya also is going to be shown here. So that's what he says. Pralobhanam kriyate. He is tempted. So now, Nachiketa uvacha tritiyam varam. Nachiketo vrinishva iti yukta san. So when Nachiketa was told by Yamraj that, oh Nachiketa, ask your third boon, what did Nachiketa ask? Verse number 20. Yam prete vichikitsa manusye asti tyeke nayam asti tichaike etad vidya manushistastvayaham varanamesha varastritiyah. So here he says, ये यम प्रेते विचिकित्सा मनुष्य ये यम विचिकित्सा संशय विचिकित्सा means संशय doubt प्रेते मृते मनुष्य when a person dies there is a doubt. What is the doubt? अस्ति इति एके अस्ति शरीर इंद्रिय मनो बुद्धि व्यतिरिक्तो देहांतर संबंध Atma iti iti. So some people say Atma exists apart from Deha, Mana, Indriya, Buddhi. When the body drops, there is an Atma which is separate. Asti iti iti. Now I am Asti cha iti. And some other people feel that na ayam evam vidho asti iti cha eke. He says there is nothing called this existence. There is no Atma. So he says now this is a transcendental aspect because this is not something that is known through the body, mind, intellect. So he says na pratyakshena. This is not some object of perception. That Atma, is an object. So Gurudev, if you say God is not an object of perception, that he can be put in a test tube and passed on, this is God. It is not like that. Pratyaksha, you cannot perceive. It's not an object. Napi anumanena, you cannot even infer that there is an Atma. Why? Because inference also depends on perception. Like we said the other day, the fire is not seen, but the smoke is seen. And when I see the smoke, then I infer that there has to be a fire. If I get up in the morning and I see water everywhere on the road and everywhere, then I infer that it must have rain. So inference also is based on perception. So he says this, whether it exists, does not exist, is not known through any of these means. Pratyaksha, na api anumanena, nirnaya vijnanam, etad vijnana dhino hi paraha purushartha. How will this be known? Only by, when he is asking to Lord Yama, when person puts the supreme effort to transcend the body, mind and intellect, identification, then only the person comes to know. And to be able to do that, I must have the faith that there is something existing. So he is asking Lord Yama to please tell me about that, because you are the best person to tell that. Because he is the Lord of death. So he says here, Ityatah etad vidyam vijaniyam aham anushishto jnapitastvaya. By you, when I am told this, you are the best person to tell me this. So you please tell me this. This is my third rule. Varana mesha varastitiyo avashishtaha. This is the last third rule which has been remaining. So you please give me this third rule. So now what is this boon actually? So many people think that he is asking that is there life after death? And when the body dies, does the jiva exist or the jiva does not exist? Is the question about that? Yeyam prete. Prete means when you go. So when you depart from this body, So people say this, Manushya, there is a Nachiketa, there is a doubt. Some people say life exists after death, some people say life doesn't exist after death. But is that the real import of this question? Think about it. Because Nachiketa has already gone to Lord Yama. He is standing in front of Lord Yama. He has understood about Brahmaloka through the Agni-vidya. And he knows that when a person drops the body, if he has done karma upasana samuchaya properly, then the result of that will be Brahmaloka. And he himself is standing right now in front of Yamaraj. He went with the body. Some people say no, he went without the body, whatever it is. He is standing in front of Yamaraj. So he's not going to ask Yamaraj to tell me whether life exists after dying or not, because Yamaraj would say there is a boon wasted. But you already are standing in front of me. And you also know that Brahmaloka exists and your jiva gets there. So his boon is not about that. His question is not about that at all. This question many people think is about life after death. This is not about life after death. The word used is asti and na asti. Existence and non-existence. So the word departed here does not mean dropping of the body. The word departed here means at the end of identification of the PMI. When a person has systematically dropped the identification with the PMI, what is there? Today I know myself only as the PMI. I am this body, mind, intellect. I know that much only. And I don't know anything else. Whatever I can see through my senses, see, hear, taste, smell, touch, that I consider real. Whatever I can feel through the mind, I consider real. Whatever I can think through the intellect, that is real. Now, if these three modes of perception are not available, what is that which is there in that state? If I transcend BMI, is the state existence or is the state non-existence? What is the nature of Atma is being asked this way. Is the nature of Atma asti, existence, or the nature of Atma non-existence? And you please tell me about that nature of Atma. That what is the nature of that self? Why is there a doubt in this? Because the usual modes of perception are not available. So what is there in that state? If I transcend the attachment to BMI, what will be my state? Naturally doubt will come. Because if I drop everything that is known to me, is there a zero or is there some existence? Asti is existence and no asti. There are a lot of philosophies. So between asti and nasti are the philosophies. So many. Starts from nasti, will finally end up in asti. So Nastic literally means not somebody who does not believe in God in that sense. Nastic means somebody who does not believe in the existence of this Atma. That when the body, mind, intellect is dropped, that ultimate state is nothing. And in that Nastic there are so many categories. So one is a materialistic person who believes that there is no cause before this body and there is no effect after this body. This body is a accidental production of five elements. And when these five elements come together, Atma gets produced with the coming together of the five elements. And the example given for that is very interesting. Betel leaf, which is green in color. Supari, which is brown in color. And limestone. Limestone, not chuna instead. White in color. If you eat all these individually, one is green, one is brown, one is white. But if you eat all these three together, one red color will produce. So they give this example that all the limbs of the body, they come together by some arrangement of 5 elements, and then Atma is a product of that. So before the body there is no Atma. After the body there is no Atma. While the body is there, when the 5 elements have come together, Atma gets produced. That's how this body is able to see, hear, taste, smell, touch. That is a Charvaka. So they believe there is only one life. There is no cause before, there is no effect later. So eat, drink and enjoy. There is nothing more to life. One life theory it is. Other people believe that ultimate reality is a non-existence, shunya, zero. There is nothing beyond this. If you transcend BMI, you will experience absence only. There is no presence. But it is so simple. Absence and presence, they both are. So, absence of this iPhone and the presence of the iPhone can be experienced by you? Yes or no? Very simple. If I take away this phone from here, there is an absence. If I bring the phone, the presence. I am seeing the absence and presence of both. It's an object. When I experience absence and presence of mind, I am present. I am, aham, asmi. But do I experience my absence? When we say I, please remember, I here is not the Jiva. I here is the Atma. Is our experience ever I am not? Try. I am not. Try to experience. Is it ever possible? Even in the state of deep sleep, when I am away from body, mind, intellect, am I absent or am I present? I am present who is watching the absence of BMI or not. Just that in that state, because of ignorance, I don't know it. But when I wake up, then I say, I did not know anything. I slept like a log. I had a very deep power nap. So who is this I who is ever present? Who watches the absence of BMI and who watches the presence of BMI? That is the nature of Atma. That is existence. So Nachiketa wants to know that when I transcend BMI, what exists? Is it existence? Is it non-existence? Because in the world people are saying all this. Now this question itself will come to a very, very subtle thinker. Ordinary mind will not even know about this question. They will not even think about this question. Because majority of the time, even when we go to great masters, we go to the great masters for what? For petty little reasons. मेरे बेटे की शादी नहीं हो रही है, प्लीज कुछ कर दो, प्लीज get me a promotion, please get me this lottery, please get me this bungalow, please bless me that I will win in this competition. Something. Majority of the people go for that. Very few people go to understand what is the nature of this art. So to Yamaraj, Nachiketa is asking that. Why? Because he has Vairagya from everything else. Only one who has Vairagya will ask for this. Because only thing worth knowing is this. Nothing else is worth knowing. So he says that you please tell me, I still have a doubt. Because he has thought about it. When I transcend the BMI, what is the nature of that self? Is it existence or is it non-existence? Because today I know I am through the mind only. I don't know who am I apart from the mind. So now the doubt is there, what is the nature of this Atma? Is it existence? Is it non-existence? Asti or no asti? And if it is existence, then what is the nature of that? Is it inert? So basically, what is the nature of the self is what he is asking. And that's why he is asking for Brahma Jnana. Because that Atma is the very supreme cause of the whole creation, which is Brahman. And so to Yamaraj, when he is asking this question, Asti iti cha eke, na asti iti cha eke. See, existence of soul or Jivatma, most of the people will believe in existence of Jivatma. Most of the cultures will believe in the existence of Jivatma. Very few, like materialists, will say that there is no Jivatma. They believe only in the body. But majority will believe in the existence of Jivatma, including Christianity, Islam, all of them, Buddhism, Jainism. Why? Because even when the body is dropped, they will say or not, there is a judgment day. So the soul is there, now waiting. By Yama, the soul is waiting. So most of the cultures believe in the existence of Jivatma. But what is the nature of that Atma which is appearing as Jivatma? That is where this question is. So he is not asking after death does Jivatma exist or not. He is asking what is the nature of that Atma which is manifesting as all these. Which when I transcend attachment to this body, mind, intellect and Jiva Bhava I transcend, what is that which is there? What is the nature of that self? That is the question.
There are so many forms.
Of course, the word I is used for all. Depends on which level of identification it is.
So different forms are there.
They are not different forms of I, they are different identifications with which we have confused this I. Body is also called I, mind also is called I, Jiva is I. We not know Kathopanishad, all the 5 koshas are that only. They are actually kosha. So we are supposed to say this body, this prana, this mind, this intellect, this ego, this avidya. But what do we say? My body. I am this. I am angry. I am happy. I am sad. I am atheist. I am Democrat. So the identification of the I has happened with the not self. The identification of self has happened with not self. So depending on what level of identification is, there are different levels of the layers. The question here is when I transcend all the layers, what is that pure I? That's what I want to know is the question here. So now Yamaraj says, Yamaraj has to test. This test of Yamaraj is not to understand whether Nachiketa is ready or not. The test of Yamaraj is to make us understand whether we are ready or not. Because Nachiketa's test is already over. He is still waiting there at the gate of death without food, without water. Meaning, when the body identification has died, Nachiketa is standing at that point without allowing the mind to go back into the sense objects, waiting at the portals of death. He wants to know what is this state. So Nachiketa is already full of vairagya. But still Yamaraj is testing him not because Nachiketa's character and his purity or his capability Yamaraj has a doubt. This is for us actually. So you see what he says now. Kim ayam ekantato nishyayasa sadhanatma jnanarho navetsyeta parichanartham aha. So for examining the capability, now the next question is being said. Devaiyatrapi vichikitsitam pura nahi sugneya manoresha dharmaha anyam varam nachiketo vranishva mamo parotsi ratima srijainam. He says Devai Rapi Atra तस्मिन् वस्तुनि विचिकित्सितं संशयितं पुरा पूर्वं न हि सुज्ञेयं सुष्ठु ज्ञेयं श्रुतम् अपि प्राकृतैः जनैः yato anaho sukshmaha. He says even the devatas who are supposed to be having a lot of punya karma, supposed to be more subtler than the human beings, more powerful than human beings. He says even the devatas have had doubts, which Kitsatam Pura earlier. And this is not Sugneya, this is not at all easy to understand. Sushtu Gneyam. Shrutam api, even though somebody tells you and you listen to it, still it is not easy to understand. By whom? Prakritaihi janaihi. By people who are attached to the body. Meaning human beings. They are attached to the body. He says it is very difficult for humans to know. If devatas themselves are not able to know who are subtler, how will you know? Anuhu is very subtle. So he said, Nahi Sugnyayam Anuresha Dharma, Atmakyo Dharma. The nature of this self is very, very subtle. Atoho Anyam Sandigdha Phalam Varam Nachiketo Vrineshwa. He says, hence Nachiketa, you ask some other boon. Don't waste your boon on this. But this is even devatas will not know. Very subtle this is. And he says, Ma Mam Moparosihi Uparodham Ma Karshihi Agam Arnam Ivottar Manaha. Ivottar Manaha. So he says, don't push me, don't force me to tell you this, because your goal will get wasted. It is very, very subtle. So you please ask some other goal. Atisruja, Vimuncha. He says, you just mas rujayana, means you just drop it. Vimuncha, you drop it. Varam ma mam prati. And he says, why you should drop it? He says, you drop it for me. Drop it for me means don't push me to tell this, because it's very, very subtle. And gross minds and all will not even know this. If subtle minds like devatas cannot know what to talk about human beings, it's extremely difficult, very hard. So don't push me, and if you are not ready to drop it, at least drop it for me. Make it easier for me. Ask something else. I can give you anything else you want. Now you see Nachiketa's clarity and conviction. How he replies to Yama. Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila Tvam cha mrityo yanya sugniya matra Vakta cha siddhvagrivanyo nalabhyaha Nanyo varastulya etasya kaschita. In the earlier commentary he says that just like a rich man, he does not, how he forces what you call somebody takes credit from the debtor. So how a rich man forces a debtor to repay. He says, don't force me like that to give this boon. You just, for my sake, you just leave this boon, ask something else, because this is extremely subtle. Now Nachiketa says, he uses argument of Yamaraj only. He says, because devatas also can't know it, it is worth knowing. So I want to know. If you see, life also will happen like that. If you tell somebody, this is You are not yet ready for this. I'll tell you later. Okay? Then you want to know what is it. Inquisitiveness increases. But you say, Abhi nahi, baad mein. No, tell now. Because many times it is like that. For if you tell somebody you know something, and you will tell at the right time. Now that mind of that person will start thinking, what does he want to tell? That is a simple example of a general inquisitiveness. Here it is that Nachiketa is told this is very subtle, very difficult, not easy to understand. And in place of this, you ask something else. Don't waste your boon. I'm telling you, you ask something else. But Nachiketa does not even think that he needs something else. So what does he say? Devai एतस्मिन् वस्तुनि विचिकित्सितं किल इति भवत एव न श्रुतं. He said, just now from you we have heard that even devatas find it very difficult. Tvam cha mrityo yad yasmana sujneyam atma tattvam atha kathayasi. He says, O mrityo, you also said that this Atma is not very easy to understand. Devatas also are not able to understand. You are also saying it is not very easy to understand. Ataha Panditai api avedaniyatvat vakta chasya dharmasya tvatriktavya tulya anyah panditascha na labhya. Anvishyamanopi. He says, but even great pandits who don't know this, they don't have a teacher like you. Even if they do a lot of research, they will not find a teacher like you because you are Lord Yama. And who is Yama? Yama is not simply the one who is killing people, taking away their life. Yama is one who remains even at the end of Pralaya. Meaning, even when the person has died, ultimate reality is death of the body, mind, intellect. What is there in that state? When the jiva is pulled out, the body drops. And when the person gets even the ultimate liberation, the death of the ego, Yama is the one who is the knower of that state. He is not an ordinary person. He is the true Brahmagyan. So he knows what happens at the death of the body and what happens at the death of the jiva also. So he knows both. He says, Tvadrim Anyo, there is no other teacher like you. Because see, some Brahmagyani will know what happens at the end of the body, at the end of the body identification. But Yamaraj is doing both. Yamaraj is also the deity of death. So at the end of the body also, he knows what is the jiva. And at the end of jiva bhav also, he knows what is Brahma. This is like you, there is nobody else. Ayam tu varo nishreyasa prapti hetu. And this boon is the only method to gain the supreme good, nishreyasa. That good gaining which is nothing more to be gained, that fulfillment can be gained only through this boon. So Nachiketa is very clear that he is not asking this out of some obstinacy like a small child. If you tell the child you should not take this, then the child will want to take this. He is asking this because of his clarity that there is no other means to fulfillment except this. So he says, Nishreyasa prapti hetu. Ato na anya varastulya sadrusho asti etasya kaschit api anitya phalatvad anyasya sarvasya eva adi abhipraya. Iti abhipraya. So he says, and hence there is no other boon equal to this. Because every other boon will give what? Anitya phalatvad. Every other boon will only give temporary result. This is the boon which will give me that Brahmagyan, which is about the permanent. Hence he said there is nothing else which is more beneficial than this, and there is nothing more which is more important than this. And hence you please give me this only. Now when he says this, Yamaraj tries to tempt him again. That we will continue tomorrow. One list of temptations he gives him. Om Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Dachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Guru